Yo, 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 what's up? Welcome to another episode of Around the Reef. We're up to episode 23. Let's go. So, on this episode, I want to talk about my favorite book of all time. It's Mastery by Robert Greene. Now, if you've never heard about Robert Greene, allow me to introduce him to you. Robert Greene is a great author. He's written a bunch of different books. He's written 33 Strategies of War. He's written 48 Laws of Power. He's written Art of Seduction, Human Nature, a ton of different books. I like Mastery the most, but they're all great. And I highly recommend if you like reading about strategy, if you're ever like thinking about what am I supposed to do in life? Well, allow me to introduce you to Robert Greene. But I want to talk about Mastery. That's my favorite one. The reason he wrote Mastery is really interesting to me. He said he wrote this book because, of course, most people know 48 Laws of Power as that's probably his most famous book. It's kind of controversial because it's kind of a dark book. It talks about, saying something you don't particularly mean, but you're doing it because you're being political. It's, how to make other people feel good. I think law number one of the 48 Laws of Power is don't outshine the master. That's basically like if you have a boss, never try to be better than your boss. Okay. It's not about like dunking on your boss. It's about how can I get my boss to look really good, and it's just like kind of these like you could see how it'd be controversial topics. And Robert Greene told himself, he asked himself life isn't all about this like kind of like what's going on behind the scenes and how to like move up the corporate ladder and how to be political. That's not what life's all about. He's like, I want to write a book that tells people like what life should be about. And that's about getting better at a skill, getting better at something that you like doing, and, achieving mastery. So if I had to summarize, it's like a 500-page book. Okay. If I had to summarize the 500 pages into like one sentence, it's basically like, you got to practice. And you don't have to be a prodigy to be a master at something. It's like a common mistake people make is like, they're like, oh, like, Tiger Woods is a great golfer because he was born a great golfer. Or Mozart is a great composer because he was born a great composer. But what people don't look at is what those guys' childhoods look like. A lot of the times these masters are people that just practiced from a very young age and just never gave up. So you can achieve mastery. Me and you, I'm not a prodigy at anything, but I can work hard at something for a long period of time and I can get better at things. Same with you. I think it starts with picking a skill that you want to master that means something to you. The skill that you're working on has to mean something to you. It's almost like God is telling you, I need to play guitar. God is telling me I need to paint. God is telling me I need to whatever, fill in the blank, but you have to love the subject that you're learning deeply, because if you don't love it, you're going to give up, because everybody knows if you tried anything new, you're going to suck at it for a long time. But that's okay. That's part of it. That's part of the journey. But you got to love what you're doing. It's almost got to be like a religious thing. Like God is telling me to do this for you to be able to grind through all the struggle, like for me, for an example, it's like I'm trying to learn how to play guitar. Learning how to play guitar is really tough. Most of the time, like go to my lessons and I'm getting probably 0.01% better. But that's okay because I'm not putting a time frame on when I need to be better. I'm working really hard, but I understand it's going to take years. You've heard that thing. It's like 10,000 hours to get good at something. That's true. You got to put in the time. So, don't try to make a ton of money early on, and don't expect a lot of success at something you've just started. Until you put in your 10,000 hours, you're probably not going to get a lot of success or make a lot of money. But it's really what life's all about, is getting good at things that you want to be good at. So, there's some what's good about the book. It's a big book. I can't really do it justice by just saying like you got to practice. Obviously, you probably know that, but there's some tips that he gives that could help you, like speed up the process or just increase the likelihood that you actually do achieve mastery. I kind of hit on the big one, which is you have to love your subject. But let's just kind of move forward and say like you picked a subject that you like. What you have to do is get a teacher or a mentor, somebody you look up to that you would like to be like, and they're going to teach you. And in the book he calls it the apprenticeship phase. You got to do that for a while, and you got to just like learn the basics. Eventually, you get to a point where the mentor has taught you everything that they can, and you have to leave the mentor behind, and you have to move on. And basically, like an important part of it too is you have to question everything that you've learned, like everything that the mentor has taught you. You have to challenge all conventional wisdom on whatever subject you're trying to do. You have to really look at it, because a good thing about being human is that we're all different. All our brains work a little differently. So I could teach you something for a long time and I could teach you the basics, but eventually you have a different brain than me. You are going to look at the subject in a slightly different way. And once you put in a lot of time, you're going to be able to start kind of like solving problems in your own unique way. A classic example is like music, for example. Like once you kind of learn the instrument, you can start to experiment with making different sounds. You understand, like nobody taught you that sound, but you came to it on your own. And obviously draw a parallel for what I'm saying into whatever you're interested in doing. You start to kind of do it your own way. That's a really important part of achieving mastery. But yeah, no, you got to practice. I think if you gather anything from my talk, you have to practice. But achieving mastery in a skill that means something to you really is what makes life worth it. There's so many bad things that are going on in life, so many things that can like throw you off. I'm talking like the worst shit possible, like somebody you care about dies, or you get sick, or anything bad, your dog dies. I don't know. What keeps you afloat and what keeps you positive is working on something that means something to you. I've heard from a lot of like really smart people, and I've actually noticed this in the happiest people that I've ever met. They all have one thing in common, and they all say like, you just got to find something you're passionate in. And like I said, the hardest part is finding what you're passionate in, but it's just like a lot of important things in life. You don't really know, you don't know what it is until it just hits you. Like when you know, you'll know type thing. So when it's like springing you out of bed in the morning, like I can't wait to play guitar. I can't wait to design the next outfit or paint the next painting or whatever. Until it springs you out of bed to work on that subject, I would probably keep looking. I think too many people just find the first thing that they get into and they just make a career out of it. But, really, it's got to mean something to you. So I encourage you to keep searching for that until you find it. And when you find it, you will know. So yeah, no, that's a I think a positive message to send. So in other news on Around the Reef, any day now we're getting new hats. We're getting new hats any day now. I'm working on a website. I'm working on shorter clips to post, so you don't have to watch the whole episode. You can just watch the more condensed clips and also like the Instagram reels and stuff. So yeah, we got a lot of positive things coming on Around the Reef. So I want to thank you guys for watching these videos. It means a lot to me. You're making my dream come true by watching. So anyways, I will catch you guys another time on Around the Reef. Bye.
Under the sea, darling, it's better down where it's wetter. Take it from me.